So, this question says graph using slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, if you looked in your notes, is y equals mx plus b. When y is by itself, m is what? The slope. B is what? The y-intercept. So if I have an equation that looks like that, I can go to that point and count for slope. Here is the equation I have. 2x plus 3y minus 4 equals 0. How can I make the blue look like the yellow? Well, the first thing I would do is move the 2 and the 4. So y was by itself. 3y equals negative 2x plus 4. Then I would divide by 3. And y would equal negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. Now my y-intercept is 4/3. How do I put 4/3 on a graph? That is 1 1/3. So I could go up to 1 and put a dot just a little bit past 1. Is that a smart way to do it? No. Not particularly, because it's ugly. And we like our graphs, and like we like all of our math, to appear elegant. So let us make it elegant. Since I need thirds, I'm going to make each square of this worth how much? 1/3. So what number would I write right there? 1. What number would I write? 1, 2, 3 right there. 1. Where is 4/3? 1 past 1. And now my slope is negative 2/3. Because I have the same scale on both, can I just count squares? Yes. 1, 2 down, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and there's my line. 1 for the algebra, 1 for the graph, 2. Because all of you should be able to move an equation around by now. What is every single x-intercept in the universe? X, 0. What is every single y-intercept in the universe? 0, y. Now use the only skill you need for this entire unit. That is an x and a y. What do you see in that equation? An x and a y. What can you do with that x and that y? What do you do with them? No. Don't do any shortcuts. Shortcuts is apparently what is killing you people. What do I do with that and that? Jordy.
You replace y with 0 to find x.
Right. 5x minus 10 times 0 plus 15 equals 0. That is the only piece of mathematical knowledge that you need to have in this unit. Anytime you see something comma something, you have an x and a y. Anytime in that question you see x and y, you can put those numbers in. I cannot make it any simpler for you. 5x, 10 times 0 is 0, plus 15 equals 0. Now, just like grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9, what do you do when you have a single variable? Isolate it. 5x equals negative 15, x equals negative 3. Then you're going to do the same thing with this. You're going to substitute in 5 times 0 minus 10y plus 15 equals 0, minus 10y plus 15 equals 0, minus 10y equals minus 15, y equals positive 1.5. Now, how do I put 1.5 on a graph? I should go by halves. So what number should I put right there? 1. 3 halves, 1, 2, 3. Can I keep the same scale? But can I? Is it possible to fit on this graph keeping the same scale? Yes. Negative 1, 1, 2, negative 2, 1, 2, negative 3. And draw the line. 1, 1, 2. Find the slope. Is that an x or a y? That's an x. What's that? What's that? What's that? What do I do? Number them. Which is x2? You want to make that x2, so what does that make that? What does that make that? What does that make that? And then you write it out, because if you write it out, you cannot do it wrong. No matter how many times I tell you this, you kids still refuse to write it out. y2 is 3. 3 minus y1, 4, over x2, negative 10, minus x1, 2. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Negative 10 minus 2. A bunch of you are going to say it's negative 8 because you think two negatives make a positive because you haven't bothered to learn what is actually happening. You stopped listening and two negatives make a positive. And the answer is negative 12. Now, two negatives make a 1/12. 2 marks. I want a slope. Slope is the number with x, yes? So does this number mean anything to me? No. Negative 3y equals 5x minus 3y equals 12. Negative 3y equals negative 5x plus 12, but I know this number doesn't matter. Y equals negative 5 over negative 3x minus 4. Two negatives, positive. What is the slope of this line? What is the slope of that line? 5/3. What is the slope of every line that is parallel to that line? 5/3. Some of you, because you refuse to work with fractions, will tell me that it is 1.666 or 1.67. I, of course, don't want you to do that, but I've been saying that all year, and I still see people doing it. So I just accept that that is what is going to be the case. One day you will start to realize that fractions are actually the easier thing to work with, and maybe you will stop. But until then, I have to resign myself to the fact that you are going to turn every fraction into a decimal, even though I never do that. For some strange reason, you think it's the better way to go. Carry on. What? 2, because you had to be able to do algebra and then know what parallel meant. Perpendicular. 7x plus 2y minus 10 equals 0. 7x minus 10 equals negative 2y. 7 over negative 2x plus 5 equals y. What is the slope of that line? Negative 7/2. What is the slope of every line that is perpendicular to that? The opposite and the reciprocal. 2/7 for 2 marks. Turn the page over. This question can be done graphically. Super easy. easily. But it can also be done algebraically. Let's do the super easy graphy way first. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. There is the point that is on the line. Slope of negative 2/3. That means what does the slope that's a fraction mean? Rise over run. So, from here I would go where? I would go down to 1, 2, and right 3. 1, 2, 3. To that point right there. I have gone 3 to the right of negative 5. What number is that? Negative 2. I have gone down 2 from negative 2. What number is that? Negative 4. What is my other option? I go up 1, 2, and left 1, 2, 3. I am now 3 left of negative 5, which is what? Negative 8. And I am up 2 from negative 2, which is what? 0. I assume everybody has one of those 2 points. You should have one of those 2 points. Algebraically, y equals negative 2/3 x plus b, correct? Okay. Do I know b? No. B is the y-intercept, yes? Which is what? You don't know. Do I know an x? What is the x that I know? I'll say it again. In this unit, anytime you see number, comma, number, what are they? What do you see here? So what can you put in here? X and y. Y is what? Equals negative 2/3. What is x? Negative 5 plus b. Right? Okay. What is negative 5 times negative 2/3? 10/3 plus b, correct? 10/3 is 3 1/3 plus b, correct? Move this over here, it becomes negative, right? Negative 5 1/3 equals b, right? So now, y equals negative 2/3 x minus 5 1/3, correct? Now, any number you choose for x, multiply by that, subtract that, you get your y. And then you can do these questions algebraically, whichever way you see fit. For example, if x were 9, then 9 times negative 2/3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 5 1/3 is negative 11 1/3. If x were 27, it would be negative 18 minus negative 23 1/3. If x were negative 4, 4 would be a bad one. If x was negative 3, it would be 2 minus 5 1/3, which would be negative 3 1/3. Okay? Only skill you need is counting or XY. That's all you need to do this whole unit. So chill. Okay? And lastly, is that a right triangle? Do you want to check all 3 corners? No. So what should you do? Draw it. 4, negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. As long as they're close to being the same, you'll be in good shape. B, 1, 2, 1. B, C, 1, 2, 1, 2. Where is the only possible 90 degree? B. So I need to check the slope of which? AB against the slope of CB. B is in both of them, correct? So I would recommend making B x2, y2, because it's in both. Right? There's my x1, y1, and there is my other x1, y1. BC is 1 minus minus 2 over 2 minus minus 2. What is 1 minus minus 2? 3. What is 2 minus negative 2? 4. Then in green, AB is 2 minus negative 2 over, oh, sorry, not 2, idiot head. 1 minus negative 2 over 2 minus 4. What is 1 minus minus 2? 3. What is 2 minus 4? Are those opposite reciprocals? So is it a right triangle? No, because there's no 90 degree. Right? Done. That's out of 3. This one was out of 2, because you could have done it with counting. 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's out of 15. You will give me that score when you do this quiz. You have 30 minutes to write this quiz. It is 11 questions and 2 drawings. It should be done, yes? I would like 10 minutes to mark it, which means you have 20 minutes to do it. That is 2 minutes per question. If I were to sit here and make you not talk or make a sound for 2 minutes, you would find that to be an eternity. So there shouldn't be any trouble doing this, yeah? Name on it, 2 scores. Take one, pass them back. Mantaj, you go that way. I know everybody says yup, but every time kids screw up the handing out of papers. Close your books, start your work. Make sure Kamal, Raj, and Luana get some. Yeah, it'll get there. Not enough? 6 minutes remain. Huh?
What's the quiz out of?
The
Or does it
assignment.
get assigned?
15. No, you keep your quizzes. We mark your quizzes. We mark your quizzes. Keep your quizzes. You will mark it, then you will hand them up, and then I will record both scores. Gong. Are we ready? Who said no? 1 out of 30. Work quickly. Oh. I recorded that whole 10 minutes. Whatever. Quiz. Are we ready?
Yes.
Excellent. What's the slope? The answer is B. The letter is M. In what represents the y-intercept? A. The letter is B, but the answer is A. What is the y-intercept in number 3? A. -7. What is the y-intercept in number 4? B. 0. Oh, sorry, duh, idiot. B. Which of those has the slope of -3 and the y-intercept of +4? C. Slope and y-intercept of that line. Ooh, intrigue. I heard different answers. What is the answer? C. Y-intercept of -1 up to over 1. Positive slope. Oh, number 7. So difficult, except it's not. Because one of them is X, one is Y, the other one is the other one. So which is it? Q minus Y and P minus X? Yes, indeedly-do. Oh, this one's tricky. This is the one that I said, no matter how many times I tell you to draw it, somebody's going to get it wrong. Where is the x-intercept? +4. Where is the y-intercept? -3. What is the slope? 3, 4. Positive. C. I can go back in the video and find when I did this whole big thing. I know, it's not too difficult. Number 9. What is the run from point D to point C? Point D is at -12. Point D is at +7. How far is it? Oh, sorry, run. X's. Duh, idiot head. -3 to 5 is how far? 8. If I'm going from D to C, it's going from negative to the C, which is positive. So it is a run of 8. C. Number 10. What is the equation of that line? Well, it's got a y-intercept of -4. So it has to be, which one? C. You didn't even need to do any more work, did you? Because the y-intercept was -4. Only one of these has a y-intercept of -4. Number 11. What is the equation of that line? That's really tricky. Except you see that the y-intercept is -5, right? So it has to be C or D, right? And then are these all X's? Are these all Y's? So if you choose any two of them, do you get the slope? Okay. So -20 minus -5 over -5 minus 0. -15 over -5 is a slope of 3. So what's the answer? B. This is very tricky. Is y isolated? So what is the slope? No. -1, because the number that's with x is always the slope whenever y is isolated, even if it's in a weird order. So what is the y-intercept? +1. And its slope is -1. So it goes that way. So the x-intercept is 0. And that is how you graph the line. Could you have done this with algebra? If the x-intercept is 0, the x-intercept is 1, if the x-intercept is when y is 0, yes? Yeah. So 0 equals 1 minus x, negative 1 equals negative x equals positive 1. Then you could have drawn the line that way. Either way, it's worth 2 marks. Okay. And lastly, determine the slope and draw the graph of the line with an x-intercept of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a y-intercept of negative 3. 1, 2, 3. There's the line for 1 mark. What's the slope? Up 3, right 5, 3/5. Same thing, 2. Making the whole quiz out of 15. So at the top of your quiz, there should be 2 marks. One out of 15, the other out of 15. Since they're both the same, please write a Q over your quiz and an A over your assignment. So you would get 1. The Twale Gang? Oh. Up to the front. And you have 5 minutes left in class with no work to do. Yo, yo. I can't hear a word you're saying. If it's that I have to leave, then you know the answer. It's always the same answer. If you people choose other stuff over class, that you are welcome to do so. I know. So today it doesn't matter.